No, really good to have you
Thank
on
you very
board.
much.
How good was the weekend for you then?
Yeah, I didn't go because I didn't think Arsenal would hand it to us on the Saturday, so I'd made other plans. I couldn't go. I thought we'd get it this week against Brighton or Brentford, but it was it's great. To win it again is just, it's beyond everybody's wildest dreams, and the fact that Arsenal handed it to us made it a little bit more sweeter because they were celebrating it in January, weren't they? And I just think they've done an amazing job. I think this season, in particular for Guardiola, with all that he's getting rid of Cancelo and coming up with new formations and the whole charges thing, which I know you're desperate to get into, Simon. I think it might be one of his greatest achievements as to the club, as having Haaland trying to settle in. I think he's done a brilliant job, and congratulations to him all, thoroughly deserved. When Pep talks about being there, at the end, we were saying to all Arsenal fans, my friends, it's the last 6 games that count. And if City are there and they're on your shoulder, no one expected Arsenal to turn around and give it to us. But yeah. I think once we beat them at the Etihad and beat them convincingly, you could just feel that the air went out of their balloon, and it was just, they'd gone by that point.
Is this the best City team that he's managed to get together?
Well, I don't.
Best ever.
There is this conversation like who's the best, and is it, if they do this, is it better than that? It's just the best now. You're not telling me that team that got 100 points is not special. That team that got 100 points, I'd never seen anything like it. The team the team that won the league in the first place with Aguero, it was amazing. So if this team wins the 2 next big games, which we're hoping that they will do, then it'll go down not as one of the best City teams, but one of the best teams of this era and in British football. And it won't be better than United. It'll be the same as United. And this talk about who's better and whose player's better, and you hear it on telly, De Bruyne better than Paul Scholes. There's a level that sportsmen and clubs get to, and there's a few in it. And there's a room which Man United sit on their own. They're the proper treble winners. And if City win these 2 games, they're going to be in the room with them, saying, "Oh, well, how's that then? Hey, how are you getting on with that?"
So they won't surpass them. They'll be in the same room.
No. We can't. Would United's treble team?
That's a great point.
Stand up against City's? We'll never know. Is Guardiola a better coach than Ferguson? We like to banter with United fans and all that, but you can't. You can't prove it because the teams can't play against each other. City are the best now.
I suppose now it's the manner in which it's like that Brian Clough analogy, isn't it? When he walks into Leeds United and says, "I want to do what you've done, but I want to do it better."
Yeah.
And Don Revie says, "You can't do it better." He says, "I can do it better. I can win it better."
Yeah.
So if Man City rock into the Champions League and smash into the next life, right, and not get a 2-1 win in the last minute against Bayern Munich, and they then win the FA Cup by smashing Manchester United, or in the order that it comes through, people will argue that their outcomes were more compelling.
Yeah.
But it won't be emulating, it'll just be equaling.
Yeah. And it's such a rarity in English football, the treble. It's only been done once. So this is not nailed on. It's life and death against United.
Yeah.
It's life and death. And if it was any other manager in managing City, I'd think, are they going to just
stand up to it?
Just take it down 10% because they're playing in the biggest game of their lives next week. Guardiola won't wear that. They'll be revved up for that game big time. And I just think it isn't better because you can't prove it. You cannot prove it. You're there. It'll be there forever, and it's a rarity. These things don't come along often.
Yes.
Liverpool, one of the best sides we've ever seen, with 2 games away from an unprecedented quadruple, and they fell down at the final hurdle. So it can happen, but fingers crossed and Godspeed, and it'll be great.
Where's the biggest challenge going to come from next season, though? As far as City are concerned, who do you think will push you hardest?
It's Liverpool, United. I don't know. You never know. No one's seen Arsenal coming. No one's seen Newcastle doing what they were doing this season. So you never know. They'd say at City, you would imagine that the biggest challenge will come from within, where it's like trying to keep them. If Gundogan leaves and Bernardo leaves, and new players come in, the biggest challenge, I would say, Pep would say, would come from within themselves, but we don't know. But I hope it is I hope it is competitive because we love things going to the last day.
Yeah.
You know, we love
Yeah.
it. And if City end up winning this league by 13 points, which is likely, it'll be crazy the way that it was nip and tuck all the way till last week, and then Arsenal just fell off a cliff.
Would you be okay if Gundogan ends up at Arsenal?
He's not going to Arsenal.
No,
he's not. There's no
what's
way.
What's he told you?
He's not told me anything. He's not going to Arsenal. There's no way. How would you leave City and go to Arsenal? What for? What for? They can't pay him any more money. They're not going to win anything.
Jesus went there. Zinchenko went there.
Yeah, but they weren't going to get a game.
Arteta went there.
They weren't going to get a game. Arteta went there because he's Arsenal. You know, Jesus ain't going to get a game over Haaland, and Zinchenko ain't going to get a game over Ake. So it was good. It was a good move for them. But Gundogan ain't going to Arsenal. Vinny's not going to Tottenham either. So forget it. It's not happening.
You're quite dismissive of Arsenal in saying that, though.
Yeah, I love it with that lot because the fans are idiots.
The producer's
Right,
mum.
it's just gone off.
He's a proper idiot as well.
Yeah, well they are.
Why the idiots?
They've got more fan channels than any club in the world sport.
This is music.
There's
to
about
his ear.
1,000 of them. You know, you can't look at YouTube without some fan
Well,
channel.
they'd argue that you lot can't fill the Etihad.
I know, I was there against Madrid, and the thing is that hardly anybody there. You don't have to queue for anything when you get there. Just walk straight in. Just nobody there. I had 4 seats to myself. I actually was lying down at one point. Lovely. It was quiet. You just like moseyed on down to get a drink. You know,
You don't mean that. Arsenal fans are not
being
idiots.
facetious.
You don't mean that.
I know quite a few, and they were giving it the big un in January, February, and they know they were. And I watch enough of their fan channels because it's highly amusing, and they know they were. And you know, they come out with this. It's good against evil. And all the money and all that, and it's just like, suck it up.
I tell you what Arsenal did. They produced the Invincibles, and that is something that Manchester City are yet to do.
Yeah, but that was before people had, cameras on their phones, so it doesn't count.
His role reversal here. I've just got Frank Warren texting me saying not so much about the idiots, because normally what I get is him texting me, giving it the big one over the phone. saying,
Frank's a good boy though, man. I've been in Frank's box.
He's a good lad.
He's a good guy.
He's a top
Are
man.
you very comfortable that the treble will be achieved? Are you comfortable that you'll beat United
No.
at Wembley? Are you comfortable that you'll win in Istanbul?
No, I think the game in Istanbul is going to be a lot tougher than people think, because the psyche of Italian football and their media and their fans is they will play for penalties, and they're well accustomed to do it. But on paper you should win them all. But there's the emotion of the derby. There's all that. It's life and death for United. United are now not talking about winning the FA Cup. They're talking about stopping City from winning the treble, which is that was City's attitude 20 years ago to United. So it's amazing how the tables have turned. But and in the Champions League final, I sit here thinking we cannot be as bad as we were against Chelsea, and surely now Pep knows his first team, and if they're all fit and firing, on paper we should get it done, but this is top level football.
Sure thing, absolutely. You're going to be at the FA Cup final. You're going to be at that.
I'm not going to be at either of them. If you can
You're not
believe
going to be
it.
either of them.
So what happens in my line of work is when we organise tours, my management and agents are told not to book anything around the Champions League final. So it's usually on my birthday, 28th, 29th of May. So a few months ago, it's put in front of me, this tour starting in America on the 2nd of June. Brilliant. I fly there. Where's the final if we get to Istanbul? I fly from Istanbul. And none of us had factored in the World Cup. And it was like then going, it's been an administrative error, Simon would say. And
because it's later on.
Yeah, because it's later. It's pushed back 2 weeks, and I can't begin to tell you. But a lot of my friends are saying, can you not cancel the gig and be there? And it's like, well, as long as they win it, I don't care about being there. Winning it is more important than me seeing it.
Would you consider saying to your management, I've got to be in Istanbul, somehow do somewhere with that gig in that day?
No, I wouldn't let the fans down. They've bought tickets now. No, it's cool. I'm cool with it. I've seen City win when we won the league with the Aguero moment. I was away on tour for that, and I was to be in America, South America there. So the omens are good, but I'm cool with it. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be in a bar in San Diego with a load of guys going, "Go on, you citizens, yep, City," which might be a bit challenging. But
you'll be thinking about the final, though, won't you? You won't be thinking about the performance.
No, not at all.
Gig,
No, mate. If we win that, I'll be going on stage in my underpants that night. Don't you worry about that. With a big cardboard cut out of Haaland. No, it's important that we win it, and then that's a full stop against that particular journey.
Yeah.
And then. Yeah. But if we don't win it, there's going to be a collective from everybody in English football. So
inferiority complex, victims complex again.
Yeah, of course. Well, no, but there is though. I'd be the same if it was anybody. If any English team in the final, and they
don't project your own mean-spiritedness
Yes.
across other people's.
Not I mean, it's what I do. It's got me where I am today, and I could say the same to you as well. But I think. They're big games for those lads.
Oh, it's a dream, isn't it? I mean, it's all set up beautifully, isn't it? It's magnificent.
If I thought 12 years ago when there was the takeover that we'd be sitting here, talking about Champions League finals, you think they were crazy from where we came from.
Yeah. Who's your all-time favourite City player? I liked Asa Hartford. Remember Asa?
I was with Asa the other night.
Were you?
And he was up there at the Madrid game. He's a good friend of my mate. My mate Scully, his dad from Glasgow, and Asa was in there. Funny thing about Asa is, no one's ever called Asa. He's up there with Jesus and Elvis.
It's a great name.
Do you know what I mean? Unbelievable.
Very good name.
I think he explained to me last night where it come from, but I can't remember what he said. But Asa's great, top man.
Yeah.
But my favourite City player, well, for years, Dennis Stewart was crystallised in black and white with the overhead kick against Newcastle. So he was and Colin Bell was the king. But you're going to be. I mean, these players now are just. I mean, they're unbelievable. Like David Silva was just the greatest thing we'd ever seen, and De Bruyne's up there. Vinny. I mean, Aguero. I don't know.
The list is endless.
Pick him.
Got to say, a lot of United fans getting in touch. There's one there, John, big United fan. United till I die. My views completely changed on Noel. Loving this, very honest about achievements in football and showing respect to the other teams, including our very own Manchester United.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.